Dude, what are you doing?
Do you like movies?
Yeah?
Then what are you gonna do about it?
Well, I just thought, do you believe?
Oh, well, I got a thing. Go ahead.
Yep. That about sums it up. Do You Believe is directed by John Gunn and stars Sean Astin and Mira Sorvino. The plot of this movie is actually kind of complicated because there's a bunch of different stories and character arcs and stuff that intertwine and intersect throughout the movie. But I'll just give you a crash course of it. A bunch of people that come from different backgrounds. Some are poor, homeless people. Some are gangster thugs. There's a couple who lost a kid when they were killed by a drunk driver. There's another couple who can never have a kid. There's a homeless girl who's pregnant. I wonder how that's going to intersect. Yeah, there's a bunch of other characters. There's actually way too many characters, but I'll get into that. Basically, they all intertwine and connect because of God, essentially, is what's happening. Is through various things. The idea is that God is making this stuff happen and forcing them to come together, and for the Christians amongst them to convert the agnostic or atheists or just, people that just aren't into that amongst them. Like, one of the thugs becomes Christian and turns against his gangster ways. And, there's other stuff that happens, obviously, because this is a Christian movie, so you expect that to happen. There are actually some positives here. Like, there's a mother and daughter character who are homeless, and they're taken in by this one old guy who's this Christian, really nice guy. And those two characters are pretty likable. They're given probably the most good-ish development out of most of the characters. You actually get to know them a little bit. Some of the characters aren't well developed really at all. I'll get into that later. But those two characters were probably the most well developed, and I actually felt genuinely sorry for them. And I'm not biased against Christian movies at all. I am Christian. I think Christian movies could be good. I mean, there has been good Christian entertainment in the past, like Veggie Tales, back in the day at least, was good, and heck, Adventures in Odyssey was pretty good. That's about it, but those were good. I'm grasping at straws here. Another positive thing I did notice was that they did cast people that did play the parts okay. I mean, they weren't fantastic actors, but you still believed them. Like, the really nice old Christian guy who takes in the homeless people. You believe that character would do that. You believe the guy that's the preacher. He looks like a preacher, so you believe that. And some of the other characters. So they aren't poorly cast as far as looking the part. Now, this movie is written by the same people who wrote God's Not Dead last year. And a big problem with that movie, and with this movie again, is that all the characters are stereotypes. Yes, like I mentioned, there's a little bit of character development with one or two characters, but most of them are just stereotypes. You got the super nice Christian who's just the super old nice Christian. Nothing else. He has no other characters. He's just the nice generic Christian. You got the two gangster guys, and yeah, one of them does convert to Christianity pretty early on in the movie. They're still generic gangsters. You don't really know anything about them except for their brothers. One of the gangsters, who's the other gangster, not the one that becomes a Christian, his name is Criminal. Spelt with a K. Come on, guys. Be creative. It's just like writing any other movie, guys. Character, plot, good story. But those are the main key elements for a movie to work well. Especially a movie like this that's a drama. You need those things, especially in a drama, to work well. And if they don't work well, you're just left with nothing. Just like God's Not Dead, the atheists in this movie are assholes, by the way. Sean Astin especially, he really never changes his stance. He doesn't pull a Kevin Sorbo. He is completely atheist to the end. There's also just too many plot lines to follow. Guys, this isn't Pulp Fiction. You're not Quentin Tarantino. You can't do this well. Honestly, if this was a movie just about the homeless mother and daughter, and them coming back from being homeless, brought in by Christians, and turning to Christianity or whatever. If that was the story, I wouldn't mind that as much because, one, I like those characters the best. Two, it would just be better because it'd be one story. You could develop the characters, show them on their journey of faith or whatever. Also, please don't make it cheesy. I know you find that really difficult, but try, please. I'd appreciate that too. Or like, you want to throw the gangsters in, you want to throw that plotline in, that's be fine too, honestly. You know, but don't throw so many. There are some unnecessary ones. There's actually also a scene in this movie, and it does involve the two gangster brothers. But there's a scene in this where I literally thought this was a deleted scene that accidentally got left in the movie. Because it is like a 30-second scene, maybe a little longer, but it's entirely pointless. Except for, I guess, to show that they're brothers, but I already got that they were brothers. One, because they said they were brothers. Two, because they acted like brothers. Like, you know, so it's kind of pointless to even have that scene there. It does nothing for the plot. I guess, again, it's supposed to be character development, but it doesn't really work that well. The character development, you gotta actually develop it. You can't just repeat what we already know, okay? So, doesn't work. I'm sorry, guys. It just doesn't work. Also, the dialogue in this movie, and a lot of Christian movies, it's so corny and cheesy. Granted, I'm glad they didn't do some of the stuff they did in God's Not Dead. Like, have two characters say stuff like, God is good all the time. And all the time, God is good. I'm happy they didn't go there, but they still had some pretty cheesy lines in this movie. Write it like normal Christians, normal people talk. That way people can believe it. Can actually be invested, be engrossed by your movie, instead of just going, what the heck was that? That was such a stupid line. You know, stuff like that. And also just on a technical level, this is also not very good. The cinematography is pretty bad and generically Christian movie-y. Those who have seen those kind of movies know what I'm talking about. It's not good at all. The score isn't memorable. And of course they had to throw in a Newsboys song at the end. I was waiting the whole movie for that, but they did it. Oh boy, thanks guys. I was so worried I would miss out on my Newsboys. Freaking shoot me. Okay, you know what? I have to talk about the ending of this movie, because the ending of this movie is so stupid. I don't personally give a crap. I'm totally okay with spoiling it, but if you really want to see this piece of crap, please don't see it. Don't give this movie any money. But if you are, just go to this time code right here. Okay? You have been warned. There is a scene near the end that culminates in a gigantic car crash that is so silly that I laughed out loud in the theater and actually got told to shut up. So while this movie isn't quite as offensive as God's Not Dead, and maybe isn't even quite as bad since there were actually likable characters in this one, it's still pretty darn close to how bad God's Not Dead was. So I give it 0.5 out of 5 stars. My lowest rating I will give. Congratulations, do you believe? You got my first 0.5 rating of the year. Good freaking job. So if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will be reviewing all the Fast and the Furious movies leading up to Furious 7. So check those reviews out. And talk to you later. Bye.